On my birthday, my husband uttered words that cut deeper than any knife. Cake? No need for it. Go ahead and toss it out. His callousness didn't end there. He whisked away on a trip with his mistress. I had clung to hope, hoping this occasion would mark a turning point for us. But alas, my hopes were dashed. I really don't think I can continue living with you anymore, I asserted. Understood, he replied coolly. In that case, I'll do as you said, throw out the cake, and I'll throw out something else that's important to you as well. With a chilling resolve, he continued, prepare yourself because I'm going to discard the thing that is most unnecessary to me. My name is Sarah, a 28-year-old office worker. My husband, Bob, also toils away in an office, albeit a different one. Our union is childless. Bob and I crossed paths a year ago at a party hosted by a senior colleague. Inwardly plain, a tad overweight, and introverted, I stood at the fringes of the gathering, engrossed in comic books. An indoor pursuit that matched my solitary disposition. Amidst the chatter, Bob, the epitome of charm and charisma, engaged me in conversation. He regaled me with tales of his travels and passion for vintage vinyl records, a captivating exchange that left me spellbound. As the evening waned, Bob requested my contact information, a gesture that caught me off guard. The following day, a message arrived, propelling us into a whirlwind of dates and burgeoning affection. 3 months later, he knelt before me, professing his love and sealing our fate with a ring. Marriage, I believed, would be the gateway to bliss. Yet reality proved cruel. Bob's demeanor shifted drastically post-nuptials. Once tender and attentive, he now shirked household responsibilities, content to while away hours in front of the TV or lost in his music collection upon returning from work. I'm not sure if it's the booming volume of his records, but whenever I announce that dinner is ready, it's as if he doesn't hear me. He saunters in late, much to my irritation. On his days off, he abandons me, citing plans with friends or colleagues from work. When I dare to ask for a bit of help around the house, he retorts, I'm working, you know. And when I point out that I'm working too, he dismisses it, claiming to be too busy even on his days off. His remark about my lack of friends stings, though I keep my thoughts to myself to avoid conflict. Gradually, Bob's criticisms escalate. He belittles my cooking and cleaning, eventually resorting to insults like, you should be grateful that a catch like me married someone as plain and overweight as you. I had hoped for a supportive partner, one who would share household responsibilities. Instead, all he tends to is his record collection, and my comic books, a cherished hobby of mine, disappeared without a trace one day. Bob's callous response, that they were cluttering up the room, only fueled my outrage. How dare he discard something so precious to me without a second thought? His verbal abuse and disrespect leave me questioning why he even married me in the first place. Perhaps, as I reluctantly conclude, he simply wanted a free housekeeper. I guess when he first met me at a party and noticed my quiet demeanor, he likely saw me as an easy target. Realizing this, I've spent countless nights in tears, though I've learned to bear the pain. But if we were to have children, I fear what the future might hold. Then, a friend disclosed she spotted Bob strolling arm in arm with another woman in the hotel district just yesterday. He had claimed to be meeting a friend, a man. So what did it mean that he was with a woman? Could he be cheating? These suspicions led me to hire a private investigator, confirming my worst fears. Bob had been unfaithful since our wedding day. Each time he claimed to be out with friends or colleagues, it was often rendezvous with Susan, a junior colleague from his office. How dare he burden me with household chores and then gallivant around with another woman? I'm going to divorce him, I resolved, even consulting a lawyer. Yet despite it all, I couldn't entirely despise Bob, who had led even someone as plain and unremarkable as me to dream of marriage. I decided to make one final attempt. My birthday was approaching, and if Bob would celebrate with me, I'd hold off on the divorce. Do you remember what's coming up this Saturday? I asked him over dinner. His oblivious response shattered my hopes once more. Saturday? Is there something special? He mumbled. It was then that I reminded him, it's my birthday. With a feigned enthusiasm, he agreed to mark the occasion. But as the eve of my birthday arrived, during dinner, Bob abruptly remarked, I have a business trip tomorrow. What? Tomorrow's my birthday, and we promised to eat cake together. I've already made a reservation, I protested. Well, it's work. I can't help it. Show some understanding for your husband's work. Anyway, I'm going on a business trip tomorrow. It's for 2 days and 1 night, so I'll be back on Sunday evening. Please pack for me, he replied nonchalantly. What about the cake I reserved? I inquired. Just throw it away if you don't need it, he said casually. Despite it being my special day and having gone through the trouble of reserving the cake, he so casually dismissed it. Feeling suspicious, I checked his smartphone while he was in the shower. There, I found his exchanges with his mistress. Shall we go somewhere on a trip this Saturday for 2 days and 1 night? Sounds good. I want to go camping. How about it? Then I'll make a reservation at a lodge. Are you sure your wife hasn't found out? Are you okay? I'm okay. She's oblivious. Actually, this Saturday is Sarah's birthday. She said let's celebrate together, but it's a hassle. I don't want her to start demanding gifts and stuff, so I thought I'd go on a trip with you. Wow, that's terrible. Your wife must be so sad. I almost cried from the shock, but somehow managed to hold back and took a screenshot of their conversation on my smartphone. I didn't particularly want gifts or anything. If you had simply agreed to eat cake with me, I would have still had a glimmer of belief that you might care about me a bit. Seeing the messages between you and your mistress shattered that last bit of hope. Enough. I'm done with it. Then, on my birthday, Bob audaciously demanded at the front door, well, I'm heading out. While I'm on a business trip, clean my room for me, okay? By the way, I'm going to pick up the cake we reserved today. You still want me to throw away your share of the cake, right? You're nagging. I replied, it's fine. Understood. I'll clean your room and I'll throw away anything that I think you don't need anymore. That's okay with you, right? Yeah, it's fine. I'm heading out now, Bob affirmed, and with that, he left for what he claimed to be a business trip but was, in reality, a getaway with his mistress. Remembering our conversation, I asked, is it okay if I throw away anything I think you don't need? Yeah, it's fine, he had responded. I recorded our exchange on a voice recorder, ensuring there was no taking it back now. Once inside Bob's room, I diligently cleaned, vacuuming and wiping the windows. Then, I began disposing of the unwanted items, old clothes, piles of stationery, and even Bob's cherished record collection. It had taken quite a bit of money and effort for him to amass those records, but it was time to let go. I packed everything up and stowed it in the storeroom before placing the filled-out divorce papers on a living room table and leaving the house. Now, it was my birthday, and I intended to enjoy it to the fullest. I picked up the reserved cake, then booked a room in a luxury hotel I had always wanted to visit. In the comfort of my hotel room, I indulged in the cake, unable to bring myself to waste it. It was delicious, but I knew I needed to start dieting to avoid gaining weight again. Afterward, I treated myself to a shopping spree in nearby stores and took a leisurely stroll by the sea. It was the first time in a long while that I had the freedom to enjoy such a carefree day. Just as I was relishing this newfound freedom, I received a call from Bob on Sunday night. Where the heck are you? I got back from my business trip, and you're not home, and there's no dinner ready? He barked. I sighed, annoyed at his intrusion into my tranquil hotel stay. Well, I'm staying in a hotel for a bit for reasons. There's a lovely scene nearby. Would you like me to send you a picture? I don't care about that. Why are you in a hotel? Where's my dinner? Also, I found divorce papers. What's going on? He demanded. If there are divorce papers, you should know what to do, right? Just sign your name on it and take it to the city hall. So you want a divorce? I retorted. Are you planning to make a paper airplane with it? You can't be that stupid. Just sign your name on it and take it to the city hall. So you want a divorce? I replied, frustration seeping into my tone. Honestly, I'm sick and tired of it. Bob just leaves me alone to plan his day off, and he never helps me with the household chores. From the very beginning, the first thing he does when he calls me is get mad because I haven't prepared dinner, I stated, bewildered. I thought it was unbelievable. What's up with that? When I entered the room, my cherished collection of records was nowhere to be found. What happened? Bob's voice rose sharply. I threw away the records, I admitted. You threw them away? Are you kidding me? Why? You knew we cherished those. Bob's anger escalated. But Bob, you told me before your business trip that I could throw away anything I deemed unnecessary. You said it was okay, so I did. I even have our conversation recorded. Wanna listen? I offered. And besides, you also threw away my beloved comics, didn't you? That's unfair. Anyway, don't just drop divorce papers on me and leave. Let's meet and talk for once, Bob proposed. Reluctantly, a few days later, I found myself at the lawyer's office with Bob. Seeing him in shabby clothes and with unkempt hair, I couldn't help but wonder why I had ever liked such a person. I'm glad I had worried about how I would feel if I no longer wanted to divorce after seeing Bob again. But it seems that was needless worry, I thought to myself. As the discussion began, I asserted, I'll say this first. I haven't changed my mind about wanting to divorce. This is the amount I want as alimony. When I stated the figure, Bob's reaction was explosive. $30 million, Sarah? That's way too much. Just because he didn't help with the housework? I questioned internally, bewildered by his reaction. But that wasn't all. You've also constantly insulted me, calling me fat and plain. And worst of all, this. I paused, pulling out evidence of infidelity that I had uncovered through a detective agency. I also showed him the screenshot of our smartphone conversation. You've been cheating since we got married, even on my birthday, lying about a business trip to go on a vacation with your mistress. Considering all this, $30 million is still not enough, I declared. Sarah, did you know about the affair? Bob's face turned pale. Yes, did you think I didn't notice because I'm dense? I retorted. And you threw away my beloved comics, remember? But that's because you threw away my records, Bob protested. Oh, the records? I lied about throwing them away, I confess, surprising Bob. Actually, I thought about it, but I felt it would be too cruel. They're stored in the back of the storeroom. What? Bob's relief was palpable. Why are you looking so relieved? The fact that you threw away my comics hasn't changed, so you should compensate for that. And about the cake, you said to throw it away. But I couldn't disrespect food, so I ate both portions, I continued. So, you didn't throw away anything. Bob sought confirmation. With a chuckle, I replied, There's no need for that. I declare to you, I discard anything I don't need, and I've done just that. Well, actually, I'm about to do it, I continued, much to Bob's confusion. You're the thing I need the least. I'm going to get rid of you completely. Once you understand that, please sign the divorce papers. There's no way the alimony will be less than this amount. If you argue, it'll be higher. Bob remained silent for a moment before finally saying, I'm sorry. I won't cheat anymore, and I'll help with the housework because you're here, because I'm here, Bob pleaded. What, so you can go on dates with your mistress without any worry, dumping the chores on me during your days off? No, that's not it, I interrupted, unswayed by his words. No matter what you say, I intend to divorce. I don't like holding onto trash because I'm a neat freak, I retorted firmly. After I said that, Bob fell apart, stammering, I'm trash. His expression at that moment was priceless. Afterwards, we divorced. Since then, all communication has been through our lawyer, so I haven't seen Bob. However, according to stories my lawyer shared, Bob, having left all the housework to me, had no domestic skills. He briefly cohabited with Susan, but apparently she too couldn't do housework. Their place quickly became a mess, and their diet was all over the place because they were constantly eating out. Bob started gaining weight, and his once handsome face now looks quite regrettable. It seems Susan broke up with Bob and moved on to another job. Furthermore, it became gossip at work that Bob and Susan were having an affair, causing him discomfort. But he can't quit because the alimony requested is substantial. I've switched jobs and moved, and now I'm enjoying living alone. I'm not run ragged by housework like before. No one gives me a hard time, and I'm happy. Plus, maybe because I'm not stressed anymore, my face is brighter, and I've been told I look a little thinner. If I continue to lose weight, even though I don't plan to see him again, I might make Bob regret even more. You're welcome.